Meanwhile, on the battlefield, it's business as usual. We've seen another round of attacks overnight. Both Russia and Ukraine attacked each other, and this happened right after the Trump-Putin phone call finished. Both sides launched dozens of drones at each other. Russia accuses Ukraine of hitting an oil depot. That might count as energy infrastructure, and that is something that Putin agreed that he will not target. But within hours of that concession, Ukraine has been accused of hitting Russian energy infrastructure. So you can see how tenuous this limited ceasefire is. Nevertheless, a partial truce is in place. So it is a small win for Trump because he has been personally involved in these negotiations. The US says talks on the next step will begin immediately on Sunday in Saudi Arabia. And Russia has reportedly agreed to this. Moscow will lay down all its demands there. But we already have a fair idea what Putin wants. The Kremlin released a statement after the Putin-Trump call, and I'll highlight some of the points that they made. Russian President Putin wants to know who will control and monitor the border, the line of contact between Russia and Ukraine. Who will control it? Who will monitor it? Next, he wants Ukraine to stop its forced mobilization. He wants Kyiv to stop bolstering its military. Putin does not want them to rearm during a ceasefire. And this is the most crucial part. He says, and I quote, "The key condition for preventing the escalation of the conflict and working towards its resolution through political and diplomatic means should be a complete cessation of foreign military aid and the provision of intelligence information to Kyiv." Basically, Putin wants the West to stop helping Ukraine. Only then will he agree to a complete ceasefire. So no more weapons, no more intelligence. Ukraine will have to be left to fend for itself. That is Russia's ask. It is a tough ask. Donald Trump may agree to it. He has already done this before, so he might agree to do it again. But the US is not the only one backing Ukraine here. There's still Europe. French President Emmanuel Macron was in Germany yesterday, meeting outgoing Chancellor Olaf Scholz. And this is what he said after the Trump-Putin call.
We, of course, followed the telephone conversation between U.S. President Trump and Russian leader Putin. We have also been in contact with President Zelensky and the USA, and were therefore able to speak about it immediately before this press conference. We are in complete agreement that the goal of all efforts must be a just and lasting peace for Ukraine.
Going back to Ukraine, we continue to support the Ukrainian army in its war of resistance faced with Russian aggression, and we're right to do that. The first steps are being made, but the objective must remain the same. A measurable and verifiable ceasefire, completely respected, opening detailed and complete peace discussions which will allow a solid and lasting peace and the guarantees that go with it. That's our objective. And of course, that's not conceivable without the Ukrainians sitting around the table. And that's a position we have consistently maintained.
Europe wants security guarantees for Ukraine. They want a just peace. And they say it cannot be done without Ukraine at the negotiating table. It sounds like they won't stop sending arms and intelligence to Kyiv, not unless Ukraine tells them to stop. And this would violate Putin's quote-unquote key condition. So will Putin soften his stance, or will he be willing to compromise on some of his demands? It appears unlikely at the moment, but we will know for sure after the talks on Sunday. Do you think that Ukraine is at its weakest position?
This war is not about Ukraine.
Do you believe that your president was insulted? Yes or no question. Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Diplomacy will work?
Yes.
Do you think Russia will give up the territory if there is no ceasefire? Do you propose to keep fighting?
We are ready to resist.
Do you think there will be peace?
Many countries gave us 3 days.
President Trump said you don't have any cards.
We do not have another choice.
How do you keep fighting?
You ask me once again the same question.
Because you've not answered my question.
We have enough capacities to keep fighting.
Firstpost brings you the Ideas Pod at the Raisina Dialogue 2025, the largest gathering of global policymakers, thought leaders, and innovators, now on the fastest-growing international news platform. Big ideas, big debates, big impact. Only at the Ideas Pod.
Raisina healed.
Firstpost gives you front-row access to the conversations that matter most. The Ideas Pod. Raisina Dialogue 2025 on Firstpost. From March 17th to March 19th.